I'm a big believer in chocolate, but I'm not sure it can make people fall in love.
We're desperate.
Gotcha. Well, I hope love wins out. Good luck.
I can't believe that they said love wins on the show. Like, they had the character say love wins. Like, I see what you did there. On April 13th, 2019, the 22nd season of Arthur premiered, beginning with the episode Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone. In this episode, Mr. Ratburn is getting married, and while the kids think he's getting married to one person, he's actually getting married to somebody else. And that somebody else is a man. Normally, I'm not reactionary with regards to the videos that I make, but after hearing about this happening, I just know that some people are going to have absolutely garbage takes on both sides of the issue. So here's the perspective of a person that's watched every single episode of Arthur up to about season 21. Here's some perspective about how big of a deal this is. In 2005, Postcards from Buster aired an episode where Buster visits Vermont. In this episode, he meets some children with lesbian moms.
Who's she?
She's a photographer who used to work with Mom. She lives here with her partner Gillian and their kids.
Hey, you must be Buster and Bo.
Yeah.
Hi, Buster. I'm Gillian.
Hi, Gillian.
Hi, you want to come on in? Come on and meet Karen.
Okay, thanks.
Come on in.
Thank you, Gillian.
Hey, guys, you coming too? Come on, let's go.
Karen, here's Buster and Bo. Buster.
Hi, Karen. Nice to meet you.
Bo.
Hi.
Good to see you.
You too.
These are all pictures of our family.
Is that James?
James, David, and I, and Gillian.
So Gillian's your mom too?
She's my stepmom.
Boy, that's a lot of moms.
Yep, this is Mom and Gillian right here.
That's a nice picture.
This is one of my favorite pictures.
How come?
Because it has my mom and Gillian, the people I love a lot, and they mean a lot to me.
WGBH warned PBS and the Department of Education that this episode could be potentially controversial, and PBS then made the decision to not send out the episodes to its member stations, censoring the episode from most of the nation. The Department of Education followed that up by writing PBS a very strongly worded letter warning them that they shouldn't air that episode and risk losing government funding. Here's a direct quote from that letter. "We believe that the Sugar Time episode does not come within these purposes or within the intent of Congress and would undermine the overall objective of the Ready to Learn program to produce programming that reaches as many children and families as possible." She then goes on to say that there would be some people that would not be ready to have their children exposed to this lifestyle. WGBH, who also produces the show Arthur, offered that episodes to any member station that wanted to air it, but PBS as an entity refused to air it. Now consider that in this episode of Arthur, not only did PBS air it, they did it without any kind of warning, any type of run-up, any type of fanfare. It just kind of dropped, and none of us were ready for it. I follow the Arthur page, and I didn't know that Mr. Ratburn was legit getting married until a day before when I saw this clip of the episode on Facebook. That was the only indication that Mr. Ratburn was getting married at all. There was no kind of warning or no kind of here's a special event. PBS loves to have special events for things like Autism Awareness Month, or when they're doing reruns of Eye of the Storm, the episode about the hurricane. But for this episode, they just dropped it and didn't make any kind of indication that it was going to be a big deal. Outside of Jane Lynch being a guest voice actor, as far as I can tell, she's the first openly gay voice guest to be on the show Arthur. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they were going to do this in my mind. Or I saw that and didn't think, oh, that means that somebody's clearly going to be gay. I thought they just were like, we like Jane Lynch. We've seen Glee. Who doesn't like Glee? Over 22 seasons, the show Arthur has consistently been one of the most progressive television shows on the air. It does this by normalizing issues instead of sensationalizing them. Buster having divorced parents, his mom getting into a relationship with a different guy, and then them breaking up, are just normal parts of the show. While some episodes talk about Buster's parents and his situation specifically, he's just a normal kid like everybody else. Mr. Ratburn getting married to another man isn't the driving plot element of this episode either. The plot would be fully unchanged if Mr. Ratburn was getting married to another woman. On top of this, his getting married to another man is unremarkable to any of the students because, honestly, they're more relieved that he's not marrying his scary sister.
I won't get in the way.
It's not like that at all. He's my brother.
Personally, I did not think you were ever going to see a gay character on the television show, Arthur. I especially thought that that would never happen considering all the drama that happened around the show Postcards from Buster. The show pulled this off in a way that not only felt natural, but it also felt significant, and that's kind of an incredible thing. As much as people like to talk about the importance of queer representation on shows like Steven's Universe or She-Ra, those shows pale in comparison to how Arthur dealt with it. Instead of the shows being surrounded by spectacle, it was a very simple moment, and that means more than people like to think it does. Also, the backlash on this is going to be wicked. When I first heard about this, I was like, are they trying to get this show canceled? It's just great because people are going to be angrier about Mr. Ratburn marrying another man than they are going to be angry about these walk cycles. Like, who walks like this? Look at this animation. This is like, nobody walks like, look at you.